Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kid Lee, and welcome to Knights of the Fallen Empire News Update number 2. I'll be going over all of the information that was released this last week, including the little bit of information that came out of the San Diego or Comic-Con Community Cantina Tour. There wasn't too much information that came out of that, so that part of it's going to be fairly brief, but the big thing is they announced what changes are coming as far as flashpoints and operations. So let's go ahead and start with the Community Cantina Tour. Basically, what they showed is a lot of screenshots and concept art, and unfortunately, I don't have good access to any of that stuff, so I can't really show you guys that. But it wasn't really anything mind-blowing. There was, though, one mind-blowing thing that did happen there, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over and show that to you right now. So here we go.
Yeah, so this isn't gonna necessarily play the way, yeah.
So, as you can see there, it appears that Darth Malgus is not dead. In fact, he's been captured by the twin brothers, frozen in carbonite, perhaps a trophy for the Emperor. Now, hopefully that's not too big of a spoiler if anybody has not finished that original storyline. If you did False Emperor, there was a scene where your hero, your character, fought Malgus and he sort of fell over a railing or whatever. And most people assumed that he was dead, but he actually was not. He managed to escape and went into hiding at that point, according to the so-called official lore. So it'd be interesting to see exactly how that plays out in the storyline moving forward. Let's go ahead and move on to the big news, which was really the flashpoints and operations. So some of what I'm going to be telling you here, some of this is dev quotes, and some of this is me just sort of paraphrasing what was said. So we're going to go ahead and start with flashpoints. All of the flashpoints, which are important to the core story, will have a solo mode added. This is going to be very similar to what they did for the Forged Alliances flashpoints, you know, Assault on Tython and so forth and so on. The one difference is that these solo modes with your fancy little robot will be repeatable, so you can play through them all that you want. These solo modes will also use a new level syncing system that lowers your character level and power to the level of that flashpoint, ensuring that your experience with the content and the difficulty will be as intended. Most of the story mode of flashpoints will be converted to tacticals, meaning that you will be able to play them anywhere between 10 and 65. These flashpoints will also bolster your character, so you'll never have to worry about being undergeared or underleveled, and you'll be able to play with your friends of varying levels. As an added bonus, each player will also receive specific loot to their class and their non-bolstered level. So running these flashpoints will always be beneficial. I really like what they're doing with this, because anybody who's playing the game now knows if you're leveling and you want to get into a flashpoint, especially if you're a DPS, it's almost impossible. So it's really cool that they're doing this. It's going to be a lot easier to get into these flashpoints, to see the stories, and to get the gear that you need to get. So, very, very good on their part. Hard modes. Hard mode flashpoints are getting some love as well. All hard mode flashpoints, including the Red Reaper for the first time, will be available at level 50 up through 65. There will be a small bolster to the difficulty ranges to those as well. You'll need to bring a balanced group with a tank, a healer, and a pair of DPS for the hard mode flashpoints. And then, just like what I said with the tactical flashpoints, each player will get their own individual suited loot for their class / level and new sets of gear based on that. And this will provide a perfect jumping off point for those getting ready to tackle operations. So let me bring up here real quick my master list. So these are going to be, this is the list of all of the solo mode flashpoints that they are adding. Black Talon, Esselis, Boarding Party, Terrell 5, The Foundry, Maelstrom Prison, Battle of Ilum, False Emperor, Assault on Tython, Korban Incursion, Manon, Legacy of Rakata, Blood Hunt, and Battle of Rishi. Then here's going to be the list of the tacticals. You're going to get Hammer Station, Athos, Mandalorian Raiders, Kadamimu, Red Reaper, Kuat Drive Yards, Zerka Lab, Zerka Core, Korban Incursion, Tython, Manon, Rakata, Blood Hunt, and Battle of Rishi. And then the new hard mode list is going to be Black Talon, Esselis, Boarding Party, Terrell 5, The Foundry, Maelstrom Prison, Kaon Under Siege, Lost Island, Battle of Ilum, False Emperor, Hammer Station, Athos, Mandalorian Raiders, Red Reaper, Kadamimu, Kuat, Zerka Lab, Zerka Core. Let's stop for a second. Korban Incursion, Assault on Tython, Manon, Rakata, Blood Hunt, and Battle of Rishi. So some extensive lists there. Let's move on to what they're doing with operations. And this is probably the biggest uproar at the moment. Every single operation in Star Wars The Old Republic will be raised to 65. Every operation will drop a new tier of Elder Game gear, as well as vanity rewards such as mounts, vehicles, decorations. I almost said datacrons. No datacrons. Mounts, vehicles, decorations for your stronghold. The story mode operations will be playable from 50 to 65 and will grant a bolster to ensure everyone in your group is prepared. They are also making several quality of life improvements to operations in the group finder to make a better, more engaging experience. Each day, a new story mode operation will be available in the group finder and will all drop relevant gear for your character. Nightmare mode, actually skipping ahead here a little bit, but Nightmare mode will also be available for all operations that previously had it and will reward gear as it should. And then actually jumping back to hard mode operations, there will be one highlighted per week in the group finder and will give even greater rewards. So now that they're redoing all of the operations, you should have a good time, so to speak, going back and doing the old ones. Now, they did say, and this is one of the developer quotes, they said that we know that many players love our operations and look forward to introducing new challenges. However, Knights of the Fallen Empire, there will not be any new operations. And that's where people are like flip table, not very happy. They're basically just rehashing the ones that we have. Me personally, I'm kind of torn on it. I mean, of course, I want to see new ones. But even in my raid team, there's people who never actually did, like Eternity Vault or Explosive Conflict or some of those early ones at the proper level when it was all challenging. So it's actually going to be kind of fun to go back and do those old ones again and actually have to do them properly with proper strategy and all that. So it should be pretty cool. But again, I'll say that I'm a little disappointed that we're not going to see any new operations probably this year. So no new PvP and no new operations this year. As you can imagine, a lot of people are saying, well, what are you doing? You're kind of taking the MMO experience out of this game. Basically, Rise of the Fallen Empire. Well, Fallen Empire is is just it's going to be a single player experience. So a lot of people are really scratching their heads over this one, really trying to figure out what exactly they're doing with this game. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was all the news for the week. So Flashpoint changes, Operation changes, and Malgus is back in some description. But if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching. And of course, I will stay on top of the news. So stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. And with that being said, everybody keep playing and have fun.